Part 52. Fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 518. Fight for your life? The most important thing for me is to save my life. After all, momentum is just momentum. Even a powerful late Hunyuan master like Mingmi has hundreds of years of practical training and tyrannical cultivation. I have been able to make my momentum compete with others as if it were substance, but momentum is not magic power after all. Weak masters below the Tai stage cannot withstand it, but those with cultivation levels above the Tai stage can break free. But when Qin Hao reached the level of De Luo, his magic power exploded, and the aura deliberately created by the old monster Mingmi was instantly destroyed. What an arrogant boy, he really has a skill. Seeing Qin Hao breaking through his own momentum easily and comfortably, his power is not inferior to that of ordinary people in the early stage of Hunyuan. Even the old monster Mingmi was also impressed by Qin Hao. De Luo's later cultivation level, but showing this hand comparison he was not inferior in the early stage of Hunyuan. If it can only be said that Qin Hao's talent was good before, he could reach the realm of cultivation in the late stage of De Luo at this age. Then the strength he has shown now is truly amazing to masters such as Mingmi. Junior, let's do this, I'll deal with you with nothing, just use your magic weapon. Old monster Mingmi is pretending to be generous, but in fact he is being held hostage by Qin Lan after all, and Qin Hao's strength is not as weak as imagined. If he really uses magic weapons, if he misses and seriously hurts him, look at Qin Ian's posture just now, I'm not sure if I will fight him to the death. However, Qin Hao has no time to test the old monster's intentions. Since you are so careless, you want me to do it, and I will be happy to do so. It is true that Qin Hao is very arrogant, but it does not mean that he is stupid. God-given opportunity, why not take it? A brilliant crimson brilliance flashed, and the Hushin Lingbao flying sword was instantly released. Speaking of which, Qin Hao has been using the Tianquo shuttle smoothly for so long. But after all, the Tianquo shuttle is not an offensive weapon, and it is a banned magic weapon. No matter how powerful it is, and it is not as sharp as the acquired Lingbao flying sword. The most important thing is that Qin Hao regards this Tianquo as a life-saving thing and is never willing to reveal it easily. The 5 elements increase, and the sword energy soars into the sky. Although Qin Hao knows how powerful Mingmi is, he must win in danger if he wants to win. Therefore, his full strength cannot be revealed. At the 4th level of the 5 elements fantasy world, he can only use the 3rd level, the 4th level is his hidden killing move. Whoosh! 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 The sword energy is like a rainbow, and it is the old monster Mingmi who underestimated Qin Hao and threatened to take his attack with bare hands. But this after a fight, the old geek Mingmi discovered that this sword was sharp and flexible, much more powerful than he had ever known. He knew the pain in his heart, but he had to save his face and did not dare to break his promise. Fortunately, Qin Hao's cultivation power it was obviously a big difference. Although the old monster Mingmi was suffering, he could still cope with it. I saw the sword energy coming towards me, and dozens of sword energy intertwined, which was dazzling, but the master of the Hunyuan period concealed it from the spiritual exploration. But it's impossible. Don't overestimate your capabilities. Old monster Mingmi's majestic mana condensed into a giant palm, and he grabbed the void. As if it had a great attraction, the sword energy forcibly escaped from the trajectory and gathered in the hands of old monster Mingmi. Then he made a move with his giant palm. Condensation, the sword energy does not disperse but gathers, but it is the powerful strength of Bai Mingmi Logui that forcibly condenses it into a ball of mana. Kid, give me a move. With a flick of his hand, the mana ball was thrown out at an extremely fast speed. Qin Hao was shocked and knew how powerful it was. However, the mana ball seemed to be locked on him and he could not break free. Flying Thunder God Shadow. Everyone was thinking that Qin Hao was dead this time. The arrogant boy just now couldn't even take a move. Unexpectedly, everyone just felt that their eyes were blurred, even the spiritual exploration was no exception. The Qin Hao in front of them suddenly turned into dozens. Everyone was shocked, and the old monster Mingmi obviously had not encountered such a weird magic move. The whole person was stunned for a moment, and he didn't know how to deal with it. How can this be? Mingmi swore that he was definitely dreaming and had never told such a strange thing that dozens of Qin Haos appeared in front of him. To be precise, dozens of Qin Haos appeared under his own spiritual sense. A person can incarnate dozens of times. Is this still a monk? No, only gods and immortals can do this. Even at the peak of the cultivation world thousands of years ago, no one has ever heard of anyone who can practice dozens of incarnations. An incarnation. Rumor has it that there is a supernatural power called external incarnation, which is used by monks to overcome tribulations as a substitute. It is extremely miraculous and is a legendary secret method. Even so, the external incarnation has not become so perverted as this number of incarnations. 10 or more degrees. Mingmi can be sure that he is not dreaming. The detection of his spiritual mind can even lock the opponent's aura. No matter how a person changes, his aura will never be wrong. Phew. Phew. At the moment of shock in Mingmi's heart, Qin Hao seized this opportunity for a 10,000th of a second. The fourth level of the five elements fantasy world. The sword breaks the sky. Qin Hao knows that his flying thunder god shadow body technique, if it is the first time for a stranger, encountering someone, as long as they are not seen through for the first time, is an opportunity. And if it is a familiar person, although it will still be confused, it will not have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to kill the enemy. So he did not hesitate to take advantage of the bright and dying at the moment of shock, all his strength was taken action. Boom. This is definitely Qin Hao's current strength, even compared to the early stage of Hunyuan. Everyone looked at Qin Hao in shock as he succeeded in this attack, Jinghong's sword chi sweeping at Mingmi. At the same time, Qin Hao's phantom formed by dozens of flying thunder gods in the void instantly shattered like a dreamy bubble. The sword energy fell, and Qin Hao's heart just wiped a con. I thought I had succeeded. At least this blow, which was not inferior to that of the Hunyuan stage, fell on Mingmi and could definitely hit him hard. Unexpectedly, a ball of green light suddenly swelled up on Mingmi's body, and in an instant, a green light appeared on Mingmi's body. The small flag burst out from Mingmi's body, emitting a gleaming green light that enveloped Mingmi. Let the terrifying sword energy hit the green light, and the light group condensed by the green light burst instantly, and the small pennant flag suddenly dimmed. Retracted into Mingmi's body. Protective weapon. Qin Hao was suddenly shocked, but he never expected that Mingmi, who was usually cautious, specially refined a protective magic weapon for himself. But even though Qin Hao was powerful and experienced a lot, in the world of cultivation in the ancient world, after all, his exposure is still shallow. It is these more powerful masters, the deeper their cultivation, the more afraid of death, and the more cautious they are in their actions. When they reach such a powerful state, no one can refine some small magic weapons. So most of them it is still very useful to refine a protective magic weapon for yourself, just in case something unexpected happens. Just like Ming, although this green pennant flag is just an innate spiritual treasure, it finally saved him at this juncture. Life. Qin Hao's blow was really powerful. Although it might not kill him, it was not difficult to seriously injure him. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 519. What a cunning boy. It turns out that you have hidden your strength. It seems that I still underestimated you. Very good. You are qualified to let me face it. After receiving this blow, Mingmi suddenly woke up. and Ming-Mi also understood the shattering of the void shadow. Although he didn't know how Qin Hao did it, it must be a powerful secret technique shadow. So, while he was still frightened, he felt relieved. At least Qin Hao was not so mysterious as to be able to use his external incarnation. Moreover, he had apparently hid with all his strength just now, but his true strength was completely revealed. Being able to the opponent that Ming-Mi can face up to, this Qin Hao is really powerful. In the eyes of others, the opponent that Ming-Mi can face up to is a source of pride for Qin Hao. But when Qin Hao heard it, he felt in his heart he was so contemptuous. Just now, this guy said he would deal with him with bare hands, but now that he is stronger, he reneged on his words and said it in a high-sounding way. How shameless! At the moment, Qin Hao sneered, Senior is also a dishonest villain. Just now he said you fought with Qin Hao, a junior, with bare hands, but now you are breaking your promise. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at and losing your reputation? Yes, brother Ming-Mi turned out to be that untrustworthy villain. Qin Lan, as the ancestor of the Qin family, naturally would not watch Qin Hao suffer. Immediately, he also supported Qin Hao's words and ridiculed Ming-Mi. Even the juniors of the major forces were a little bit concerned about Ming-Mi's behavior. Shameless, and the faces of the old monsters from various factions are even more embarrassed. Speaking of it, fighting Qin Hao seems to represent them. With his actions, it is no wonder that the faces of these old monsters are shameless. But after all, considering that the magic weapon is the most important thing, if you don't let go of your pride at this time, you really have no chance to get the magic weapon. Therefore, the old monsters from all the powerful forces just want to be clear and shameless in their hearts, but they can't say anything on their lips. This Ming-Mi also had her heart set on the magic weapon, so she acted shamelessly and forced herself to defend herself. Just now, I was talking about your Deluo's late-stage cultivation strength, so I was empty-handed. Now it seems that you are clearly capable of the Hunyuan period, but I can no longer let you go empty-handed. This is to make everyone present criticize, and I am right? Ming-Mi was convinced that everyone present must be on the same line with him for the magic weapon. So he directly attracted everyone present, to prove that what he said is true. Sure enough, they are still driven by the desire for profit. Each of these people are unconscionable and support the words of Ming and Mu. Qin Lan, the outspoken ancestor of the Qin family, would immediately go crazy. If it weren't for Qin Yu's constant comfort, I'm afraid it wouldn't be the case. This old guy who has not done anything for decades will immediately break up with these shameless people and start killing. It's enough to bully them, but if they bully them, they will act rogue, which will make anyone angry. Also, no wonder the ancestor of the Qin family was about to go crazy. Damn it! After watching Ming-Mi talk so shamelessly, he still used magic power to move, and an acquired spiritual treasure flying sword came out of his body. It seemed that he was going to use all his strength to deal with him. Qin Hao was angry in his heart, but he had to think about how to deal with it next. What a shameless guy! Qin Hao was secretly annoyed, but he was also aroused to the anger in his heart. Even if you use the acquired spirit treasure to fly the sword, why should I, Qin Hao, be afraid? Thinking in his heart, Ming-Mi is not polite, and with the thought, the acquired spirit treasure Beophigian shot out like a wild horse. He was worthy of being the top master in the ancient world. Before the flying sword got close, Qin Hao felt as if he was locked. A powerful and vast force, the unrivaled momentum is like a rolling wave, surging incessantly. Flying thunder god shadow. Qin Hao used to practice hard in the sea of death, facing the boundless surging waves, but he really faced such a situation like Ming and destruction. The rolling sword intent is many times more powerful than the ocean tide. In addition, Ming-Mi himself is a master in the late Hunyuan period. The magic power of a casual strike is not to mention the late nascent Soul and early Hunyuan, even the middle and late Hunyuan. He didn't dare to be careless. So even though he was as strong as Qin Hao, he didn't dare to resist this blow. He could only use the Flying Thunder Shadow Body technique, and with a flash of his body, the sword intent locked onto his breath, so the Flying Thunder Shadow Body technique, the phantom clone of Ming Ming, was able to block the blow for Qin Hao and let him escape. Seeing Qin Hao perform this weird illusion secret method again, Ming Ming missed the blow and frowned, but had to be patient. Controlling the flying sword with his mind, the speed increased a lot in an instant. The flying swords in the sky were as fast as meteors, and the waves of Qin Hao in the void were scattered by the flying swords. For a moment, the two of them were after chasing and hiding. No one can do anything to anyone. Damn it, boy, I don't believe in your secret method that doesn't consume mana. I am in the late stage of Hunyuan, and you are not in the late stage of Deluo. Is your magic power more powerful than me? Ming Mi was still unable to defeat Qin Hao, and everyone who was watching frowned. This is definitely a shame and humiliation for Ming Mi. But this Flying Thunder God Shadow Body technique was created by Qin Hao, and he had never seen it before. However, he couldn't think of any way to solve the unknown things, so he could only engage in a battle of attrition with Qin Hao. One of the two had extremely fast and weird body skills, and the other had a profound level of magical power. They fought like this. In the eyes of everyone, all of them were boring. And the old monsters from the major forces were all old rivals who had fought against each other for many years. Ming Mi was just chasing Qin Hao blindly, but they saw Ming Mi's intention. But you don't know, after 1,000 moves, Ming Mi himself used the flying sword like this, and consumed 30% of his mana, but Qin Hao still didn't blush or breath, as if he didn't consume his mana. In fact, Qin Hao's mana, it is true that he is only in the late stage of Deluo, and his cultivation is only in the early stage of Deluo. But he still has a physical body, and the physical body is powerful enough to be comparable to that of Deluo stage. Moreover, the physical body's mana is long-lasting and can be consumed most. It is unknown how much more mana is consumed than that. How durable is it? In addition, Qin Hao mostly relies on the strength of his own body to perform the Flying Thunder God Shadow Body technique. Such a fight only consumes 30% of the mana, which is much less than that of Ming Mi. However, this everything is clearly beyond what Ming Ming can understand. Even though he is hundreds of years old, he is furious at this moment. Could it be that these hundreds of years have been lived on a dog? He is not even a junior who is less than 100 years old, and he is just a big man. Luo's later cultivation was a junior with the strength of the early Hunyuan. But Ming Mi didn't know that Qin Hao was only in his 20s, otherwise he would have just found a crack in the ground and burrowed down, and he would have been so ashamed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 520. Even if this is the case, Ming Mi is really going to get mad after repeatedly doing nothing to help the junior. Before, he was still afraid that Qin Lan would fight him desperately. He did not use any powerful sword moves, but only used his own strong strength to defeat Qin Hao with one sword. But now it seems that Qin Hao's weirdness is not only the weird shadow clone, but also the mana consumed in casting the secret method, which is also relaxing and comfortable. So no matter how patient Ming Ming is, he can't wait any longer at this moment. Boy, you're fine. Good words blurted out, Ming Mi's flying sword suddenly emitted a burst of green light, and green sword energy shot out in all directions like a rain of flowers in the sky. Whoosh! Whoosh! Waves of voids in Qin Hao's void. The shadow clone was instantly dissipated by the impact of the green sword energy. But Qin Hao himself felt that the sword energy of the flying sword was only that strong. He knew in his heart that this kind of sword move would cause all the magic power to be dispersed. There is no attack power in all directions. Qin Hao understands, and so does Ming-Mi. But his move is obviously not to seriously injure Qin Hao with the sword energy in the sky, and he can't do it. This is the time. Taking advantage of Qin Hao's phantom clone without him, the Ming-Mi face sword changed and went to kill Qin Hao. Qian Qing had already thought of a countermeasure. Although he couldn't help Qin Hao being a phantom clone, he could take advantage of the opportunity to clean up Qin Hao's phantom clone in an instant. And then seized this 10,000th of a second opportunity. As long as he understood Qin Hao, it was enough. Qin Hao was shocked. The flying sword locked onto him, and the phantom clone was shattered again. The new clone had not had time. It seemed that it was possible. Take this sword. Qin Hao didn't take Ming-Mi's attack easily, but that doesn't mean he didn't dare to take it. He didn't do anything disrespectful. Qin Hao used the flying sword in his hand to deal with the attack, head to head. This blow was mixed with his sword Qi Doji Unkayang on the sword body. Boom! Qin Hao only felt a strong force coming from the flying sword, and the sword Qi on the sword body was instantly broken through, turning into there was nothing, and the mark of his mind on his flying sword was almost washed away. Then, the remaining mana passed through the sword body and struck him in the chest. No matter how powerful Qin Hao was, he was so powerful with the mana blow, nascent soul was sluggish for a while, but it was seriously injured. This was the result of the mana being partially offset by the flying sword, sword energy, sword body, and Qin Hao's tyrannical body. It can be imagined that this Ming-Mi blow how powerful is the attack. However, Ming-Mi obviously does not think that one blow can defeat Qin Hao. And this slight injury to Qin Hao, and then the minor injury turns into a serious injury, he will not be able to give in when the time comes. So after this blow, Qin Hao he used the Flying Thunder God shadow body technique, leaving a shadow all over the sky to resist for a moment, but Ming-Mi refused to give up. The flying sword flashed with green light again, and the green sword energy in the sky was killing people from all directions. Boom! The green sword energy in the sky, it is definitely the nemesis of Qin Hao's phantom clone that fills the sky. At least for this moment, he can definitely restrain it, and this is exactly what Ming-Mi wants. Sure enough, after the blue sword energy in the sky, the phantom was completely shattered, and Ming-Mi grabbed this in a moment of opportunity, the flying sword containing the magic power of Ming-Mi, the top master in the late Hunyuan period, shot out. Boy, your body skills are powerful, but your magic power is average, and your realm is much worse than mine. As the saying goes, one force can defeat 10. My magic power is much better than yours. If I continue to use it like this, I will seriously hurt you. When the time comes, you will have no choice but to surrender to me. Ming-Mi succeeded in one attack, thinking secretly in his heart, feeling extremely proud. I have to say that his move was really powerful. No matter how powerful Qin Hao's Flying Thunder God shadow body technique was, he was not invincible. At least he was restrained at this moment. Stagnation was something he couldn't avoid. Damn it, Na Ming-Mi was determined to grind himself to death like this, but Qin Hao couldn't dodge this sword. The attack of this flying sword was given more mana by Na Ming-Mi. It was based on speed and locking. So Qin Hao wanted to dodge, but he couldn't. And with Qin Hao's strength, if he resisted this blow, he would suffer serious injuries from every blow. For more than 10 times in a row under the attack, even Qin Hao's body, which was as powerful as a Deludo stage master, could not withstand the destruction of such powerful magic. Blood overflowed, and the nascent soul in Danshan was better, but the upper Danshan and middle Danshan, the two nascent souls jointly bear the destruction of the nascent soul. The mysterious Tai Chi pattern that was originally reluctant to appear also appeared strangely, blocking the destruction of the nascent soul by the magic power for Qin Hao. Even so, if this continues, Qin Hao when the infant will also be unable to bear it. And it is very likely that the physical body will collapse first. By then, without a strong physical body, it will not be able to exert the power of the nascent soul, let alone defeat this Ming and me. What to do? If this continues, let alone defeating Ming me, it will be impossible even to remain undefeated. Do you really want to let yourself escape? It's not like Qin Hao has never experienced a life of escape. At least in that illusion of death, Qin Hao escaped countless times between life and death. Now that he can return to the Qin family and his relatives, at least Qin Hao will I felt comforted in my heart. So when faced with the ugly faces of these people, Qin Hao, who had clear grievances, did not get angry immediately, but endured it again and again. Even in the face of these people's shameless challenges, Qin Hao still responded to them. Now I have even used the fourth level of the five elements illusionary world, and the flying thunder god shadow body technique to the extreme, but I am still dragged to death by Ming Mi. I am no match at all. Qin Hao was troubled in his heart. In fact, he still had a trick that he had not used yet. At least the muscle and bone technique could double his strength. Even if he was to deal with Ming Ming, although he would not be able to defeat him, he would not be defeated. In this way, Qin Hao relies on physical strength, which can consume him to death. Qin Hao would not use this muscle and bone technique easily at first. He only used it as a means to save his life, not to fight with these people. But this time, Qin Hao was attacked one after another, and his physical magic power could hardly bear it. Therefore, Qin Hao had no choice but to use the muscle and bone technique. In this way, this muscle and bone technique could last for an hour. Within an hour, the loser must be defeated. Ming and annihilation. Qin Hao just made a decision in his heart, suddenly. Xiao Qinzi, do you need to go to such trouble? Don't forget, monks can be assisted by contracted beasts in their battles. The voice was lazy for a while. As soon as he said this, Qin Hao's heart was shaken, as if he thought of something, and he couldn't help showing a smile on his face. Needless to say, those who can talk to Qin Hao's consciousness are also able to keep up with Qin Hao's thinking. Naturally it is none other than Xiaobai. Yes, why did I forget that this contracted beast can also be fought? Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 521. Boom. Just when Qin Hao looked surprised and wanted to call Xiaobai out for war, a supreme coercion that reached heaven and earth suddenly fell from the 9 heavens. At this moment, all creatures in the universe felt an unprecedented feeling of heart palpitations. It was as if the entire world would be destroyed at this moment, creating an unprecedented sense of danger. This breath. Qin Hao also sensed it. When he looked up, his eyes showed strong shock. I saw that above the 9 heavens, a fairy palace surrounded by billions of Hongmeng fairy energy suddenly appeared. A vast and boundless immortal pressure swept down unbridled, causing chaos in the world. But what shocked Qin Hao was that the aura of Hongmeng Immortal Palace actually made him feel familiar. There is also such a supreme aura in the shocking picture. At this time, Xiaobai's voice appeared, and Qin Hao, who was thinking about it, suddenly became enlightened. Indeed, the reason why he felt familiar was precisely because of the Jingtian picture. Buzzing. When Qin Hao's mind sank into the Jingtian picture, the picture suddenly trembled, and vast immortal energy appeared and merged into Qin Hao's body. Immediately, Qin Hao's cultivation level increased crazily at an extremely terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye, Qin Hao's cultivation level has reached the peak of Hunyuan realm. There are even faint signs of breaking through Hunyuan and setting foot in the legendary Holy Realm. How come? Sensing the changes in Qin Hao's aura, countless monks turned pale with horror. In the blink of an eye, Qin Hao actually reached the realm of those supreme ancestors. If you are at the peak of the Hunyuan realm, looking at the entire 10,000 realms, there won't be much, right? Jingtiantu gave birth to Lingzi. Qin Hao also showed a strong expression of shock at this time. because he sensed that the aura of spiritual wisdom appeared in the Jingtian diagram. This means that the vast immortal energy pouring out of the Jingtian diagram is the Jingtian diagram. The weapon spirit is in control. Hongmeng Immortal Palace hides the Hongmeng Immortal Fruit, which cannot be allowed to fall into the hands of creatures from outside the realm. When Qin Hao was shocked, a rather old voice came out from the shocking picture. Are you the weapon spirit of Jingtiantu? Or is it just a remnant soul trapped in the shocking picture? After hearing this, Qin Hao asked rhetorically. Jingtiantu was refined by me, you can think of me as the weapon spirit of Jingtiantu. There is no time, Hongmeng Immortal Palace is about to open, we must snatch the Hongmeng Immortal Fruit. The old voice said. What exactly is Hongmeng Immortal Fruit? What are the origins of those extraterrestrial beings? Qin Hao did not hesitate this time. He took one step forward and flew towards the Hongmeng Immortal Palace. Whoosh! Before the old voice sounded, Qin Hao sensed three extremely strange auras. Those three auras seems to emerge directly from the endless void. Extraterrestrial beings. Seeing the three auras that appeared, Qin Hao immediately sensed it. The origin fluctuations of these three auras were completely different from their aura fluctuations. It was a feeling like water and fire being compatible, which could be seen at a glance. Out. The Hongmeng Immortal Fruit is a fairy left over from the prehistoric era and contains the Hongmeng Law. If the creatures in the Hunyuan realm swallow and refine it, they can cross the limit and set foot in the Hongmeng Holy Realm. At this time, the weapon spirit in the shocking picture started to explain. Hongmeng Holy Land? Isn't that a legendary realm? Does it really exist? Qin Hao was shocked. Hongmeng Holy Realm has only appeared in myths and legends since ancient times. Even various ancient books have no records of that realm. It is for this reason that this realm is called the legendary realm. Although it has been passed down by word of mouth, no one has ever been able to step in. Now, after hearing that a fairy fruit can actually improve the cultivation level of Hunyuan realm, Qin Hao was naturally extremely shocked after setting foot in Hongmeng Holy Realm. Of course it exists, but as the world of Hongmeng is shattered and the source of Hongmeng dissipates, no one can break through and enter. It is precisely because of this that those extraterrestrial beings will focus on the Hongmeng Immortal Fruit. Once the Hongmeng Immortal Fruit is taken away by them, the origin of this world will also be taken away by them, and the world will be exhausted by then. The old voice said. Then if I get the Hongmeng Immortal Fruit, I can stop the depletion of the world? Qin Hao asked. Of course, you are a living creature of this world. You will not plunder the origin of the world, but will form a feedback relationship with the origin of the world. The old voice said. It's a bit difficult to deal with three Hunyuan realm giants in a row. After Qin Hao came to understand, he looked at the three auras hiding in the void. Although he could not see the true identity of the three auras, their cultivation level was able to sense them. The three living beings not only had the cultivation level of Hunyuan realm has reached the peak of Hunyuan realm. In a 1-on-3 situation, Qin Hao is naturally in a disadvantageous situation. Don't worry, I have unlocked Jingtiantu's seal. With Jingtiantu's help, there are very few people in the Hunyuan Saint realm who can fight you. Hearing the old voice, he was not worried at all. Before Jingtiantu unlocked the seal, it was the Hunyuan treasure. Now that the seal is gone, that level of combat power is enough to overwhelm the Hunyuan treasure, which is equivalent to half a step of Hongmeng. Immortal treasure. Since Hongmeng was broken, there has been no more Hongmeng immortal treasure in this world. Therefore, this shocking picture can be said to be the only treasure in the world that has glimpsed the threshold of Hongmeng immortal treasure. Fantasy. After thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 522. Boom. As the old voice fell, Qin Hao felt that there was a huge killing power erupting in the shocking picture. An extremely terrifying impact pressure swept across unbridled like a volcano erupting. This breath. Could it be, Hongmeng immortal treasure? Feeling the astonishing pressure, the three extraterrestrial beings hiding in the void all looked at Qin Hao, with unconcealed shock in their eyes. The Hongmeng immortal treasure, that is the legendary immortal treasure, the entire world. The sky is gone. Is there such a thing as Hongmeng immortal treasure in this universe? Is this impossible? Click. When the shocking picture was unsealed, in the Hongmeng Immortal Palace, there was a dazzling fairy light blooming. After that, a supreme aura that seemed to come from the ancient times emanated from the dazzling fairy palace. Hongmeng Immortal Palace is about to open. In the shocking picture, the old voice hurriedly said to Qin Hao. Whoa! Qin Hao did not hesitate, took a step forward, and rushed towards the Hongmeng Immortal Palace. Whoosh! Those three extraterrestrial creatures, naturally, there is no trace of them at all. Hesitating, he rushes out like a ghost. Seal up. Seeing the three extraterrestrial creatures rushing towards him, Qin Hao kept pointing out, and a fairy light scroll appeared, and then spread out, evolving into a mysterious world. It was a shocking picture. The three extraterrestrial creatures all looked shocked. They immediately dodged away, not daring to get close to the Jingtian picture. The Jingtian picture contained the Supreme Avenue, which made them tremble all over, and there was a fatal danger. Qin Hao narrowed his eyes slightly, but did not catch up, and his figure flashed, escaped directly into the Hongmeng Immortal Palace. Inside the Immortal Palace, there is a vast and boundless world, filled with the energy of Hongmeng, just like in ancient times. Over there. The moment he entered, Qin Hao saw the world in the distance, a fairy tree that was all crystal clear. The fairy tree seemed to be located in this world, but it was surrounded by endless Hongmeng fairy energy, as if he was in an ancient world. Era-like. On that Hongmeng fairy tree, a crystal clear fairy fruit grew. Obviously, that fairy fruit was the rumored Hongmeng fairy fruit. Qin Hao could even sense a very special feeling from it. The original breath. It was as if there was an original world that was about to manifest there. It was extremely mysterious. Huh. Immediately, Qin Hao stepped out like a ghost across the sky and appeared directly in front of the Hongmeng immortal tree. Devour. Without any hesitation, Qin Hao thought, and a piece of dark Taoism emerged and turned into a glutton. The Hongmeng immortal fruit was directly swallowed by the black glutton. In an instant, an unprecedented Hongmeng immortal dharma flowed all over his body. Qin Hao's whole body was blooming with dazzling fairy light. Qin Hao's aura also increased crazily at an alarming speed. Originally, Qin Hao's cultivation had reached the peak of the Hunyuan realm, but now it is at the peak of the Chao dynasty. With the legendary Hongmeng Holy Realm breakthrough. Whoops! But at this moment, in the distant void, there were actually two auras of the Hunyuan realm, breaking through the air without warning. These two Hunyuan realm figures, they are also outsiders. I don't know when they lived in seclusion. They have not appeared until now. Hold head high. Chirp. The moment they appeared, the two extraterrestrial creatures immediately launched a world-destroying attack. Accompanied by the thunderous roar of the dragon and the crisp sound of the phoenix, a 10-million-foot-long ancient true dragon and a 7-colored fairy covered the sky and the sun. The phoenix roars out. The bloodline of the ancient true dragon and the bloodline of the colorful fairy phoenix. Qin Hao was a little shocked. You know, these two bloodlines have long become legends in their world. I didn't expect that there are creatures of such supreme bloodlines outside the territory. Of course, with Qin Hao's current combat power, naturally, they will no longer be afraid of creatures at this level. After all, the cultivation of these two extraterrestrial creatures is only at the Hunyuan realm, so there is no need to be afraid. Since you want to die, I will give you a ride. Qin Hao's eyes were indifferent, and his figure flashed directly to meet the real dragon and the fairy phoenix. As the Hongmeng fairy light exploded, the earth-shattering bombing sound followed and resounded through the sky. The real dragon and the fairy phoenix directly shattered in response, turned into endless ashes and dissipated. How come? Seeing Qin Hao casually smashing their innate magical powers, the two extraterrestrial beings were shocked and couldn't believe it. They were innate beings with supreme bloodline, and they were innate enough to overwhelm their peers. But now, Qin Hao actually casually erased their magical killing skills. So what level of Qin Hao's combat power should it have reached? Could it be that he has already set foot in the Hongmeng Holy Realm? Sure enough, it's not on the same level anymore. Qin Hao had a smile on his face. Although the Hongmeng immortal fruit has not been completely refined yet, his combat power is no longer comparable to that of the Hunyuan Saint realm. Die. Immediately, Qin Hao stepped out of the air, appearing directly in front of them like a ghost. Boom. As Qin Hao pointed out, the world with a radius of hundreds of millions of feet was completely blocked. An ancient and the mysterious scroll spread out and enveloped everything. The two extraterrestrial creatures were instantly sealed in the shocking map. Poof. After that, as the shocking image bloomed with dazzling fairy light, the two extraterrestrial creatures turned into blood mist. In the blink of an eye, the two ancestor-level Hunyuan realm creatures disappeared. At the moment of the ban, those two creatures, the extraterrestrial creatures with the blood of true dragons and immortal phoenixes, were completely wiped out. This is enough to show the shocking killing power contained in the completely unsealed shocking map. Of course, the most important thing is because of Qin Hao his current cultivation level has reached the holy realm of the infinite realm. Otherwise, even with the help of Jingtian Tu, he would not be able to kill two creatures in the Hunyuan extreme realm in an instant. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, after thousands of years of seclusion, I became a saint. Author, love to eat chicken legs. Chapter 523. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, the three extraterrestrial beings that had been blocked outside the immortal palace fled away from the sky at extremely high speeds. In addition to those three creatures, there are four more beings in the Hunyuan realm. Obviously, the news of the birth of Hongmeng Immortal Palace has come, and many giants outside the territory have received the news. Is there a Hunyuan level battle happening here? This aura is a bit strange. It seems that the Hunyuan realm has fallen. No way. From just now to now, it has only been a few breaths of time. In this short period of time, could he have killed the existence of Hunyuan realm? Even if he holds the Hongmeng immortal treasure, it is impossible, unless he sets foot in the Hongmeng holy realm. This kind of aura is still only in the Hunyuan realm and has not truly broken through yet. The seven extraterrestrial beings who arrived, after a heated discussion, all looked at Qin Hao. Although Qin Hao's state was quite strange, in their perception, he had not yet broken through the Hunyuan realm. This meant that, the current Qin Hao is still strong enough for them to fight. If Qin Hao is completely broken, then they will have no hope at all. Move. Immediately, the seven extraterrestrial creatures joined forces to attack and kill them. For a moment, all kinds of world-destroying killing techniques were bombarded overwhelmingly, and the world was shaking. It was quite decisive, but unfortunately, it was already too late. Qin Hao stood in the sky, his expression calm, not disturbed by those killing techniques. Before he finished speaking, Qin Hao waved his sleeves, and thousands of bright fairy lights swept across the sky like meteors. Every fairy light swept across the sky. In the light, a shocking picture appeared, completely sealing off the world. Naturally, the seven extraterrestrial beings rushed into it as if they had thrown themselves into a trap. Puff, puff. The sky was filled with blood and light exploded. The 7 Hunyuan Jindu extraterrestrial beings also lost their souls. Swallow. Qin Hao, who was surrounded by the Hongmeng immortal light, thought, and the Daodi treasure technique appeared. The original essence and blood of those Hunyuan creatures were all devoured. You can clearly feel that Qin Hao's breath it's getting more and more terrifying. There is only one step left to break through and become a saint. Qin Hao's eyes were bright. He felt that his cultivation level was getting closer and closer to a limit. As long as he crossed that bottleneck, he could step into the legendary Hongmeng Holy Realm in one fell swoop. In terms of cultivation level, Qin Hao is now equivalent to half a step into the Holy Realm. Boom! Suddenly, earth-shaking thunder resounded. Above the 9 heavens, thunderclouds as black as ink rolled in, covering the sky and the sun, covering the entire sky. They were all completely submerged. Among those thunderclouds, there was purple-black thunder, roaring and filling the air, exuding an extremely terrifying aura, as if there was a peerless beast hiding in it. Be careful, this is an innate thunder catastrophe. Since Hongmeng was broken, the will of heaven and earth has suppressed all spirits, making it impossible for people to break through Hongmeng Holy Realm. In the shocking picture, the old voice, with rare solemnity, warned Qin Hao. Of course, being able to induce the will of heaven and earth to come down means that Qin Hao has been recognized by heaven and earth. In other words, as long as Qin Hao can successfully after passing this calamity, you can become a saint in one step. It seems that the real giants can no longer hold back. While paying attention to those terrifying thunder catastrophes, Qin Hao also vaguely sensed several mysterious auras. Those mysterious auras were far beyond the comparison of the previous Hunyuan realm creatures. They were vaguely comparable to him now. This means that the cultivation of those creatures that emerged are close to the level of half-step Holy Realm. Those terrifying creatures obviously knew that Qin Hao would cause the thunder catastrophe of heaven and earth, so they had not taken action before. Until now, Qin Hao was targeted by the thunder and calamity of heaven and earth, and they emerged, leaving Qin Hao vulnerable from both sides. Hand over the Hongmeng immortal fruit, and we can forget about the past. A creature with a vast Buddha's light emerging from behind stepped forward. He couldn't see clearly, but it seemed to be a Buddhist monk. In the Buddha's light behind him, there was a manifestation of the Buddha's kingdom. A mysterious and unpredictable aura swept over him. Open, seal the world. Junior, you are not the one to be contaminated by these immortal things, so it's not too late to stop now. After the Buddha's light creature finished speaking, an old man wearing ancient Taoist robes suddenly spoke with Taoism. He stepped on the ancient Taoist map, and there was an innate black and yellow air on his head. Every move seemed to contain the divine power that created the world. Although the other creatures did not speak, the aura they exuded became more and more terrifying. Obviously, if Qin Hao is unwilling to hand over the Hongmeng immortal fruit, they will join forces to attack Qin Hao. The Hongmeng immortal fruit has been refined by me. It is impossible for me to hand it over. I will also give you a chance. If you are interested, it is not too late to leave now. Otherwise, when I successfully overcome the tribulation and liquidate it, you will not be able to bear the consequences. Qin Hao was not swayed by such threats. On the contrary, his tone was very tough, and he did not hide the murderous intent at all. Since you want to die, then I will let you die. Immediately, those semi-saint level creatures scattered around and surrounded Qin Hao. Of course, although their murderous intent exploded, they did not take action immediately. They were waiting for the innate thunder tribulation to fall. Qin Hao had absolutely no time to take care of them when dealing with the thunder catastrophe of heaven and earth. By then, if they acted together, Qin Hao would definitely be dead or alive. Practice. Qin Hao saw through their intentions at a glance, but his expression remained calm. After that, with the thought in his mind, thousands of Taoist techniques swept through him, and the remaining power of the Hongmeng immortal fruit in his body was completely integrated into his body. Click. Almost at this moment, a purple-black thunder, like a ferocious and terrifying dragon, tore through the void of heaven and earth and pounced on Qin Hao. The shocking killing power contained in that thunder was enough to shatter the Hunyuan realm just by spreading a little. It can be seen how shocking the killing power is. Kill. While waiting for the thunder and lightning from heaven and earth to crash down, those semi-saint level creatures immediately seized the opportunity and displayed their strongest killing techniques. Boom. Along with the violent impact as vast as a tsunami, the void where Qin Hao was shattered inch by inch and completely turned into nothingness. Even the shocking pictures around Qin Hao were completely annihilated, as if they were annihilated by flying ashes. Dead. What about Hongmeng immortal fruit? Those semi-saint level creatures all use secret methods to gain insight. Under the attack and killing just now, even they have a hard time surviving. Naturally, Qin Hao, who has just achieved the semi-saint level, cannot survive. A way to survive. Of course, what they care about is not Qin Hao's life or death, but the Hongmeng immortal fruit. According to ancient records, even if the host dies, the Hongmeng immortal fruit will regroup and will not just dissipate. This is also them, who dare to be so unscrupulous, the reason for killing Qin Hao. Use my origin to transform the world. At this moment, an indifferent voice suddenly came from the void. Not dead. How can it be? Those half-saint level creatures were all shocked and disbelieving. Did Qin Hao actually survive under the unparalleled killing just now? Boom. Those half-saint level creatures were so shocked that they couldn't believe it. When he was frightened, a dazzling fairy light suddenly rose into the sky. The dark thunder clouds that originally blocked the sky were directly dispersed, and the whole world became clear. At the source of the fairy light, a Hongmeng fairy talisman appeared. Transformed out. In the center of Hongmeng immortal talisman, wearing the aura of Hongmeng, he stepped out of the endless void. That person is naturally Qin Hao. This breath. He succeeded. The moment they sensed Qin Hao's aura, those semi-saint level creatures all changed their colors. A creepy sense of danger emerged in their hearts, and they couldn't suppress it no matter what. At this time, Qin Hao, Tongfang comparing them, they are completely different, even worlds apart. World will. In that panic, the creature with the vast Buddha's light shrank its eyes and immediately ran away. Because he sensed the fluctuation of the will of this world from Qin Hao. This means that Qin Hao has survived the thunder tribulation of heaven and earth and has been recognized by the will of heaven and earth. Thinking back to what Qin Hao said just now about the world of incarnation, this naturally made him change his face in horror. Aha! But the next moment, the Buddha's light creature that had just torn apart the sky and escaped appeared again without any warning. Can't escape. This caused strong panic to appear in the eyes of the Buddha's light figure. Normally, he would have been able to cross the endless universe in that moment. But now, he was transferred to this world without even reacting. This means what? Is this world controlled by him? No, he has become one with the world. The old man in Taoist robes also had extremely solemn eyes and murmured. As soon as these words came out, the hearts of several other semi-saint level creatures suddenly sank, and their uneasiness soared. In this way, even if they wanted to escape, can't find a way out. I gave you the opportunity just now, but you didn't know how to cherish it. Now you know how to be afraid. Qin Hao stepped on Hongmeng and walked out of the immortal talisman unhurriedly. Just as the old man in Taoist robes said, Qin Hao has now completely become one with the world. In other words, the origin of this world is derived from his origin. In this world, he is the only savior who can dominate all living beings. Fellow Taoist, what happened today is our fault. If you, fellow Taoist, are willing to show your noble hand, we will. The old man in Taoist robes was about to relent when his entire body was completely wiped out. Immediately afterwards, bursts of explosions resounded. Several other semi-saint level creatures had no time to react, so they followed suit one after another. In the blink of an eye, several semi-saint level giants were wiped out in ashes. It's over. After wiping out those semi-saint level creatures, Qin Hao thought. Immediately, all the extraterrestrial creatures that sneaked into this world were wiped out one by one. In the extraterrestrial world, there were countless Hunyuan realm and even semi-saint level creatures. They all felt it in their hearts and saluted in the direction of Qin Hao, showing their surrender. At this point, the entire world was respected by Qin Hao. A new era was about to begin.